Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A Texas teenager has been found after being missing in North Carolina. And U.S. officials stop hundreds of mostly Venezuelan undocumented immigrants entering the country. Plus, following the collapse of multiple banks, the president assuring Americans the banking system is safe.
Take a look on the outside one more time. Live view from Cuero ISD weatherbook camera. Cloudy skies, cool temperatures on the outside, rain chances going up, and temperatures eventually going down. We'll give you the details in your forecast.
The El Campo Ricebirds are hiring its new head football coach, and he's familiar with the Crossroads area. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Estrada and today is the 14th day of March 2023. The time is now 6:30 on your Tuesday morning, and today it's National Write Down Your Story Day. This might be a great time to do so. It's spring break for many of you, so you can start writing that story. Maybe share it with some family members. Sharing it with a grandparent will probably mean so much. And let's go ahead and turn to First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey, have you started your life story yet?
I've started my life story, I tell you what. And it's been interesting so far and getting more interesting, I guess. I'm very lucky to have what I have and all the experience I've had. Everyone is unique. Every single person is unique, so we all have a unique life story. Keep that in mind. And 51 degrees currently in Victoria, with traffic picking up there in the distance along the highway. Northerly winds near 10 miles per hour. And future temperatures staying in the 50s for the majority of the morning time hour, 7, 8, 9 a.m. And then by 10 o'clock, maybe near 60 degrees. Mid-60s by the lunchtime hour, and maybe near 70 degrees by the afternoon time. If we get a little more sun, it'll be a little bit warmer, but I think it'll be kind of mixture of clouds and sun throughout the day, so we'll call it partly cloudy overall. And currently the winds coming in from the north and northeast, keeping that cool, dry air in place for now. Cloudy skies over the majority of the region for the day tomorrow, next few days. Note more southerly component as high pressure exits to the east, bringing that Gulf moisture in directly off the Gulf of Mexico and increasing our humidities here. And you see that funneling to the north. It's waiting for the next front to come closer to us. There it is right there. Moving through on your Thursday. Could be a risk of some severe weather along this frontal boundary right here coming up for your early morning on your Friday into late Thursday morning into Friday, I should say. So we're watching weather developments, have an alert day posted for your Thursday. Once the front moves on through, winds turn around the north, and it chills down in a pretty big way. No freezing temperatures, but temperatures in the 50s for highs over the weekend. Yes, it's very possible. And notice the clouds still hanging in and more rain approaching us from the west coming up for Saturday into Sunday. So the rain chance is still going to continue after that. Your full forecast comes up later on. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. Authorities in Texas are urging people to avoid crossing into the border towns of Mexico, advocating that drug cartels should be labeled as terrorist organizations. The warning comes after the kidnapping of 4 Americans last week, leaving 2 of them dead.
We're very concerned at the state level, and that's why, because of the increased violence and the fact that the Mexican drug cartels represent a significant threat to anyone who crosses into Mexico, and just the sheer, volatile nature of these criminal organizations and the increased violence. That's why we strongly urge anyone to avoid crossing into Mexico, especially at this time.
The Texas Department of Public Safety warns tourists to be aware that there has even been cartel presence in some of Mexico's most popular resort areas, including Acapulco. Those who still want to travel to those locations are advised to contact the U.S. consulate, travel in groups, and to be aware of their surroundings. A teenager missing from Texas has been found in North Carolina, locked in a shed by a man she reportedly met online.
A missing 13-year-old is home safe with her family, rescued near Charlotte, North Carolina, more than 1,000 miles away from her home in Texas.
It was hard, heartbroken, very scared for her life.
The teen's mom says her daughter met the alleged abductor, 34-year-old Jorge Camacho, playing video games online, and they communicated on an app for months.
Content of the chat was consistent with grooming and enticement. And he enticed her to actually leave the home where he picked her up.
Investigators believe he picked up the teen to traffic her for sex.
Kids come missing and they're being sold. And we knew that she had left with this person that we never met from the internet. We fear the worst.
The FBI Violent Crime Task Force in Texas, coordinated with the sheriff in Davidson County, North Carolina, quickly zeroing in on where they believed she was. Finding the teen locked in this green shed, video shows the conditions inside. The property owner saying she had no idea someone was in her shed.
I never see her inside my house, on the camera. I didn't know she was even here.
This case, another example of the rising problem of human trafficking. Of the more than 365,000 children who were missing in 2020, it's estimated 30% were actively trafficked. Last month, 8 girls, including a runaway from Arizona, were rescued in a human trafficking bust in California. Parents are urged to be attentive to their kids' online activity.
That's how these things happen, is not being supervised, and these kids are very sharp.
Camacho is charged with several felonies, including child abduction, human trafficking, and statutory rape. He's being held on a $1.2 million bond. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
U.S. officials stopped hundreds of mostly Venezuelan undocumented immigrants from entering the country from Mexico on Sunday after a large group broke through Mexican lines to demand asylum in the U.S. The undocumented immigrants were thwarted by barbed wire barriers and shields, frustrated with problems securing appointments to seek asylum using a new U.S. government app. The undocumented immigrants gathered in the border city of Ciudad Juarez but could not cross the border connecting the two countries. After some pushing and shoving with the officials, the crowd of undocumented immigrants eventually withdrew, with some heading down to the banks of the Rio Grande, where they were monitored by U.S. immigration officials stationed on the other side. Following the collapse of multiple banks, President Joe Biden assures Americans that the U.S. banking system is safe. Speaking today, the president said Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank customers were still able to access their money after both banks failed over the weekend. With Silicon Bank failing last Friday and Signature Bank following suit on Sunday, President Biden also promised to not put taxpayer dollars at risk. He added his administration will hold those responsible for the bank failures accountable. Authorities have charged 10 more people in a scheme targeting a program that was supposed to help feed children during the pandemic. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota announced the charges in a news release, which includes conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and bribery. Officials say the defendants participated in a massive scheme to defraud the federal child nutrition program, allegedly stealing $250 million from the Minnesota-based Feeding Our Future nonprofit. According to investigators, the accused misappropriated the funds instead of using them to make sure underserved children receive adequate nutrition. The Department of Justice had already charged 47 people in the alleged scheme back in September. The largest snowstorm of the winter season bearing down on parts of New York. Highway crews are gearing up for a long few days. Several inches of heavy, wet snow expected, with more snow coming down for this morning's commute. The snow is expected to be steady and at times heavy and will continue through this afternoon, tapering off Tuesday. Before tapering off Tuesday night. According to forecasters, the storm could produce snowfall rates of 2 inches or more an hour, with areas of higher elevation getting accumulations of more than a foot. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has issued a state of emergency. She is urging residents to prepare for some snow and use caution while driving. The Goliad County Sheriff's Office Monday helping Texas Parks and Wildlife State Park police and game wardens in a joint effort to locate missing kayakers on the San Antonio River. After a fast response from those teams and some volunteer firemen and private citizens, the kayakers were located and safely returned to their family. Okay, get your cell phone, scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts, vote on our viewer poll, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app. Submit those news tips and photos. And the time is just about 6:39 on your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. There's a new director for the Victoria Public Library.
Fallout continues after 2 banks failed, leaving some scrambling to get their money. Coming up, we'll have more on the big picture economic impact.
And you see the dew points, well, relatively dry in the 40s around the area through your early evening on your Tuesday. Increasing humidity over time means better rain chances for us, but severe weather could be a possibility in that mix. We'll give you details coming up in your forecast.
For months, we've been saying that Fred Loya can save you more money on your car insurance. But just how much more? In recent months, people who switch from Geico and Progressive to Fred Loya Insurance have saved over $1,500 a year. State Farm customers who switched to Fred Loya saved over $1,600 a year. Allstate customers saved over $1,100 a year. That's a combined savings of over $240,000 a year. So start paying less. Call or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save.
Celebrate the start of spring with plenty of family fun at Moody Gardens. Longer days are ahead, so the Victoria Television Group and Moody Gardens wants to help you make the most of this spring with our grand prize giveaway. This package is bundled with attraction tickets for a family of 4, 2 rounds of golf, and a one-night hotel stay. The contest ends March 31st. There are so many ways to have fun. You can't miss it. Go to the contest page on crossroadstoday.com to enter.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach. Not everyone can say that, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Right now, save up to $50 on gas or battery trimmers.
Good morning. Trey Mining here. Temperature is currently in the 50s, even a few 40s. We got West Nixon 47 degrees, 51 degrees, holding on that number still in Victoria. Right along the coast and bays, and they're in the 60s, mid-60s at best. Port O'Connor to Seadrift. And we're looking at the satellite radar composite. No precipitation around here, maybe a little bit of drizzle, that's it, in a few little areas. Otherwise, keeping it mostly dry and on the, well, chilly side. Looking at the water vapor imagery, a lot of dry air with South Texas, of course. That means that the rain chances will be rather small. Maybe a passing rain shower somewhere in this flow coming in west to east, but because of the dry atmosphere, all the rain that falls out of that cloud will be pretty much evaporated before it hits the ground. Maybe a few sprinkles at best, so we'll keep that a slight chance in. But the instability is becoming greater as you go through your day-to-day, tomorrow especially, waiting for more moisture out west, and a cold front out here to move through our region coming up for your Thursday late in the day, which will give us a risk of severe weather potentially for Thursday night and Friday. We have to watch weather developments at that time. We're looking at the northerly winds still continuing throughout the day-to-day, mixture of clouds and sun throughout the afternoon time, especially for today and tomorrow. And we're waiting for the front that'll appear in western Texas coming up for your Thursday. There it is right there. It's got a pretty good punch to it. Not only will it bring a risk of some severe weather potentially for us, and be much cooler behind the front. How cool? 50s for highs, possibly? Yes. We'll give you the details on that and the days a little bit later on in the full forecast to come. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. We meet the new coach of the El Campo Rice Birds. 25 News Now Sports Director Gino Perez has more.
Howdy Crossroads, a former Cuero state champion is heading back to the Crossroads to hopefully bring a title to the El Campo Rice Birds. At the Board of Approvals meeting, the members in attendance voted to approve the hire unanimously. Longtime coach Travis Reeve spent the past 3 seasons in New Caney High School as the head football coach. The Victoria native would be taking over for Chad Worrell, who left the El Campo Rice Birds to take a coaching job at Burleson High School.
But we just wanted to come back to a smaller place, one school, one town place, and we didn't want to just come to any place. And El Campo's got a long-standing tradition of success. The community's very supportive and reminded me a lot of Cuero, quite honestly. And but we're excited to be Rice Birds and feel like this is going to be a great fit.
Coach Reeve and the Rice Birds will head down to Cuero in the regular season to take on his former team. Travis used to coach at Cuero for 14 years, and Reeve is also going to live a little closer to his brother Charlie Reeve, who was named Victoria East Titan head football coach earlier in the year. That's your 25 Sports Now.
We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone, just search Crossroads Today Plus. More fallout this morning after the collapse of 2 U.S. banks. President Biden telling Americans their money is safe. His administration taking emergency action as some scramble to take out their cash. We have more with what you need to know this morning.
Customers of Silicon Valley and Signature Banks lining up to grab their cash.
Yeah, no, I'm going to clear it out and learn my lesson, and we're not going to put the money all in one place. Like I did here, so I'm going to spread it around.
The Treasury, FDIC, and Federal Reserve have taken emergency steps to guarantee all deposits from the failed banks are paid back in full, even those over the federally insured amount of $250,000. President Biden telling Americans they can have confidence in the system.
Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe. Your deposits are safe. Let me also assure you, we will not stop at this. We'll do whatever is needed.
But despite efforts to ease fears, people are on edge. Stocks of some other regional banks plummeted Monday, worrying those customers.
I rushed over here and I withdrew all my money, except for $1.
Experts say the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank was partially triggered by the aggressive interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve.
Rising interest rates was one of the biggest problems that bit them 2 ways.
It's because the bank invested heavily in government bonds 2 years ago. And as the feds raised rates, bond prices fell and the value of Silicon Valley's investments plummeted. The Federal Reserve Board is now launching a review of the bank's supervision and regulation, promising a thorough and transparent process. The White House also pushing for tougher regulations on small banks, which Congress rolled back during the Trump administration.
I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again.
The latest inflation report is due out this morning, and it's expected to show that the inflation rate dropped to 6% last month, lower than January, but still high. Some economists predict the Fed will think twice about another big rate hike in light of the bank failures. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Jessica Berger promoted to Victoria Public Library Director after serving as Assistant Director since 2016 and serving as Interim Director since November 2022. Berger replaces Dana Williams Capone, who resigned last November after serving as the Director since 2009. The former Director is part of the Victoria Public Library Advisory Board, which discussed policies regarding books focusing on LGBTQI plus content. The time is now 6:47 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come, U.S. officials launching a new program aimed at warning organizations that are vulnerable to ransomware attacks. Time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Dennis. Thank you for all you do for our community. Dennis is turning 71 today.
And happy birthday to Jayla.
To Gila.
Gila, okay. I can't get that right. Hope
She's the Refugio County judge, Trey. You better get it right.
Oh, yes, I'm going to behave in Refugio County. Definitely, I will now. Hope you celebrate all week long with your beautiful family. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Frank. You are an amazing father and husband. Don't forget about your photography skills. They are unmatched. Happy birthday.
And happy birthday to Corey Stoll. You may recognize him from Modoc or from the character in the show House of Cards. Corey turning 47 today.
And happy birthday to Billy Crystal, Mr. Saturday Night, and longtime Oscars host turning 75.
To see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More and under Home. You'll see the KVU Submit Your Birthday.
The time is now 6:48 on your Tuesday morning. We'll be right back.
Have you been told you have to live with your wound? There is hope at PAM Outpatient Wound Care. At PAM Outpatient Wound Care Clinic, you'll find the latest technology and the most committed and caring professionals dedicated to your wound healing. Our experienced wound healing experts and multidisciplinary team specialize in preventing amputation and preserving limbs.
I began hyperbarics here. I'm walking and have the leg, which is the best part.
Come see us at PAM Outpatient Wound Care, where healing starts here.
At Bravo Autos, we turn buying a new car into a Fiesta! Welcome to Bravo. Are you here for the big Fiesta? Oh, yeah! We have a great selection of cars and trucks that make you want to dance!
Plus, over $1 million in pre-owned inventory, including certified pre-owned Hondas.
Financing so easy, it makes you wanna sing! Who are we? Bravo!
In this morning's GMA First Look, zebra attack. A man lucky to survive after being bitten by this zebra, seen on police body cam approaching sheriff's deputies as they respond to the scene. The zebra nearly taking off his owner's arm in a shocking attack.
Did he bite your arm? Did he?
Oh, hell yeah.
Is your arm still attached, sir?
I don't think so. Deputies finding 72-year-old Ronald Clifton in a fenced-in field lying on the ground.
We need to expose the wound just to make sure to stop the bleeding.
When deputies arrived, the zebra appearing aggressive.
Is there a way for you to keep him back? We're trying not to shoot him.
Male zebras, especially if females are in season around, get incredibly territorial. That male was probably looking at all these things as a threat and was going to take out those threats.
And we'll have much more on this scary encounter coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's take a look at what's going on. Satellite radar composite, seeing a little bit of maybe a little bit of shower activity, maybe up there in New Wharton, but it's probably not even enough worth mentioning. And we'll keep the dry conditions in place for the day today. Can't rule out an isolated shower somewhere in the Crossroads region today. A lot of dry air in the middle upper lobes of the atmosphere you see here with a dark color here, and especially the reds along the coast. This is the water vapor imagery, by the way. It gives us a good representation of the moisture level in all the levels of the atmosphere. It's beginning to moisten up as you go through your day today, and that's going to be important as the front comes down our way by the time we get to Thursday in the evening time on your day Thursday, with a good risk of rain showers and thunderstorms potentially at that time. Let's take a look at that in the future tracker. More of a southerly component to the wind by later on today, Tuesday afternoon into your Wednesday, and even into your Thursday, beginning to build that moisture up and create more instability in time around here, keeping the clouds in. We're watching the front as it approaches us, coming up from the north and northwest. There it is on your Thursday, moving through our region, coming up Thursday night into your early Friday morning, with a risk of severe weather potentially along and ahead of the boundary. There is an alert day for that day, Thursday into Friday, and so we're watching that, and the cooler air will follow behind the front, and rather cool temperatures coming up this weekend. We'll take a look at that before we go a little bit later on. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. And now for today's question of the day. This scientist's birthday is today on Pi Day. Who is it? Like us on Facebook, Crossroads Today. Post your guess to today's question. We'll have the answer in just a few minutes. U.S. officials launching a new program aimed at warning organizations that are vulnerable to ransomware attacks. The new program identifies organizations that are exposing vulnerable software on the public internet, a practice that makes hackers' jobs significantly easier. It is designed to minimize the impact of hacking campaigns that capitalize on commonly used software. It's the latest in an all-out push by the Biden administration to curb the threat of ransomware, which has crippled hospitals, schools, and cost organizations up to billions of dollars. Officials have also sanctioned cryptocurrency exchanges, arrested accused perpetrators of attacks, and warned broad sectors of the economy to raise their cyber defenses. But While overall payments of ransoms are down, criminal groups continue to claim U.S. victims on a regular basis. Okay, it's time for your viewer poll. Scan this QR code right here to take part. Today we want to know, how concerned are you about ransomware attacks? Let's go ahead and check that mood meter. All right. So y'all are all about at a 6 of between not at all and very concerned. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. You can continue to take part each day by going to crossroadstoday.com/vote. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. SpaceX planning to begin testing its Starlink satellite cell service with T-Mobile.
Who's on it with Jardiance?
Free. Jump. We're the ones getting it done.
We're managing type 2 diabetes and heart risk.
We're on it with Jardiance.
Join the growing number of people who are on it with the once daily pill, Jardiance. Jardiance not only lowers A1C, it goes beyond to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And Jardiance may help you lose some weight.
Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
A once daily pill that goes beyond lowering A1C?
We're on it.
We're on it. We're on it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Heiress, influencer, DJ, mother, the one and only Paris Hilton. And now this morning, she's live on GMA. And no question is off limits. So what will she reveal? This morning, Paris Hilton live on ABC's.
And now it's time for today's question of the day. Today we want to know, which famous scientist is celebrating a birthday today on Pi Day? Okay, Trey, we have some guesses. Tanya is guessing Albert Einstein, so is Patricia, and so is Melanie.
Well, yes, it's only right. Albert Einstein, it's his birthday today. There you go. So there's the answer to the question of the day. Stay tuned tomorrow for another great question of the day to get your brain going for your Wednesday.
SpaceX begins testing its Starlink satellite-to-cell service with T-Mobile. SpaceX and T-Mobile announced their partnership in August, vowing to end mobile dead zones, and now the testing phase is about to begin. SpaceX has launched about 4,000 Starlink satellites to date and recently rolled out even more powerful satellites in December. SpaceX surpassed 1 million Starlink users. China will resume letting foreign tourists visit the country for the first time in 3 years. The country's foreign ministry says China's borders will reopen to those with valid visas beginning Wednesday, and that multi-year visas issued before March 28, 2020 will be reactivated as long as they had not expired. As construction continues, Crestwood Drive between Navarro and Main Streets closed to eastbound traffic. Traffic may only travel from Navarro Street to Main Street and not the other way around. All businesses and homes in the construction zone will remain accessible. Affectionate Arms Giving Day, keeping the family together longer, is this Friday, March 17th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Join Don Brubaker and the 25 News Now team live from Affectionate Arms. They need your donations. Scan the QR code right there on your screen to donate. They do need monetary donations. They need office supplies, water, games, gift cards, cleaning supplies, and outdoor and indoor plants. Affectionate Arms can be reached at 361-578-9067, and their email address is affectionatearms@sbcglobal.net. We hope to see you on Friday. We want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a look at our forecast with Trey. Trey, it is unusually chilly for this time of year for South Texas. I'm just not sure what to make of it, Trey.
There you go. You have to deal with it. That's the way it is. But think about it like this. Enjoy the cool weather now because summer is not that far away.
That's true.
68 degrees for your day today, cloudy skies. maybe an isolated rain shower somewhere, and some breaks in the cloud cover by the afternoon time. Overnight lows in the mid-50s coming up for tonight, cool conditions. And tomorrow about the same, a little bit warmer though, well into the 70s. Windy conditions too. Extended forecast for us. Front comes through on Thursday late in the day with a good amount of thunderstorms. Some of those could be severe alert day for that day. Cooling down, 50s for highs over the weekend, lows in the 40s. So enjoy the cool weather where we have it and make it a great day today. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Tuesday on your spring break. Come to crossroadstoday.com for more local news, weather, and sports, and join James, Don, Maclovio, Karina, and Gino today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Taco Tuesday.